don't love you anymore. I don't want to lie. It's over. Goodbye. This is my attempt at an updo, so fancy. Ready to break up with plastic? Me too. I'm not here to tell you all the reasons why plastic is terrible for the planet. There are plenty of other very well-researched YouTube videos out there that can convince you of that fact. I'll link some in the description below. I mean, if you clicked on this video, you probably already know that plastic is pretty much killing our planet. Here are some really easy swaps away from plastic products and towards sustainable, eco-friendly products that I have made in my household, and hopefully will give you some ideas for things that you can do as well that make you feel good and it's good for the planet too. Now, I don't believe in a zero waste or minimalist lifestyle at all. I like stuff, I like shopping, but I believe that we should all do our very, very best in the little ways that we can. First of all, let's talk about toilet paper. We all know the toilet paper craze that swept the nation early in 2020. I have opted to avoid all of the in-store craziness with toilet paper and have instead ordered a subscription from whogivesacrap.com. The name is ingenious, the packaging is gorgeous, and the company is sustainable and eco-friendly. You can get a massive stash of beautifully wrapped toilet paper delivered to your home. You don't have to worry about a giant piece of plastic that's polluting the planet every few months when you buy a new container of toilet paper in the store. The next eco-friendly subscriber service that I recently have gotten into is drops.com, where we order eco-friendly laundry detergent and dishwashing detergent in these cute little pods in little cardboard eco-friendly packaging. It's wonderful. It washes all of our kids' stained food, dirtied up clothing. It washes it very well. And our dishes are also super clean. It's wonderful. Why break your back lugging those giant, heavy, horrible for the environment jugs of laundry detergent and dishwashing detergent back and forth from the store to your home? Don't mess with any of that. Go with an easy mailing service like drops.com. One of the other things that we've stopped buying is paper towels. So what we use instead are some very absorbent cloth diaper liner things. I'll have to find the brand, but we just use some old rags that we've shredded up, old pieces of cloth, old washcloths that don't really hold soap very well in terms of like washing our bodies, but that are absorbent for water. We just use those around the house to mop up messes that a paper towel would be doing instead. So instead of creating waste and adding something to our trash can, we just wipe it up with the rag and then throw it into the laundry basket and wash it next time to be reused. Paper towels are not cheap, especially the good ones that don't fall apart. So instead, use an actual fabric cloth to wipe up messes around your house. While we're on the subject of kitchen stuff, we also are not buying plastic storage containers anymore. The only plastic storage containers that we're using are takeout containers, specifically for my poke bowl addiction, where whenever we want to eat there, it is takeout only. It is in plastic containers. However, they are recyclable and they are reusable. So I usually will throw in things that I'd like to freeze for later. We also are making the switch towards more glass Tupperware with the little rubber lids. Although they're kind of heavy and bulky, they do an amazing job of keeping our food fresh in the fridge for a pretty long time. With that being said, we don't buy aluminum foil, saran wrap, or Ziploc bags anymore. For those things, we do use the glass Tupperware as well as the plastics that we are getting from our takeout orders. Eventually they do break, so we have to recycle them, but that's what we're using instead of those disposable products. I also have a really crazy glass jar collection, and I use that instead of Ziploc bags as well to put snacks in, things around the house. I display my seashells in them. They just are endless in terms of possibilities for use for glass jars. We also do not buy napkins anymore. We use some of the fast food and takeout napkins that we get whenever we order out. Because like I said, we're doing a lot of takeout and a good bit of fast food, and you always get a giant stack of napkins, right? Well, instead of throwing them away, bring them home and put them in a nice little stack and use them for those quick wipe ups that might maybe stain a cloth towel. Instead, I use those cheap fast food napkins. They're not pretty, but they get the job done. Oh, I forgot. We also are using these nice stretchy silicone lids in place of anything like saran wrap or aluminum foil, and they just stretch over the surface of a bowl of any size. Really, we have little square bowls. We use it over our regular bowls, and because it has these little grippies on the side, it holds into place and it's really cool. We also are no longer buying dryer sheets. So dryer sheets are single use. You are throwing that item into the trash can after you use it once. So what we switched to instead are wool dryer balls. The ones that we got were really stinky at first and made our clothes smell like a wet dog, and that was not cool. So I had to do a little bit of research to figure out how to remedy this, and what I found out was that if you buy essential oils and just put a few drops on one or both of the wool dryer balls, throw them into your laundry, and then your laundry comes out smelling like whatever essential oil you would like. So we don't use the essential oil every time that we dry our clothes because it does tend to hang around on the wool balls, but I have an awesome lavender and birch essential oil that is so far the only one we've bought and tried, and I love it. It smells great. And no more wet dog smell, and I get to use these dryer balls over and over again, literally hundreds of times, and they do a great job of keeping our clothes nice and fluffy and allowing them to smell good too. So let's switch to talking about some bathroom items. Now these are the hardest ones that we have transitioned to. My husband is still really not happy with any of the eco-friendly toothbrushes or toothpastes that he has tried, so that is probably going to be either an ongoing process of trying more new items or just making a compromise that's a couple of things that he is always going to stick to that are not necessarily eco-friendly but that do work for him. So he's stuck to his Colgate, he's stuck to his plastic toothbrushes. But for me, I've made the switch over to bamboo compostable toothbrushes as well as toothpaste tabs. Now, I do not like the toothpaste tabs at all. I don't like the taste, I don't like the texture of it in my mouth, so I won't be repurchasing those. However, the next item I have down the line to try is a eco-friendly toothpaste that is in an aluminum recyclable tube like an aluminum can. So I'm really excited to try that, and I might give an update later, but that is also down the line. I have options, and that tube is gigantic, so I'm sure it's gonna last me quite a while. One of the eco-friendly swaps that Mike has really enjoyed and liked that I was not sure he was going to be able to get on board with was a deodorant that is eco-friendly, including the ingredients that are non-aluminum and is in a cardboard tube. Now, there is this trend lately that I'm seeing in terms of deodorants that don't have any toxic chemicals in it. However, if you're gonna wear a deodorant that is, let's be honest, not as strong or as good as a deodorant that's traditional, if it's still in a plastic container that is gonna have to go in the trash because it's non-recyclable at the end of its use, to me it's not really worth the swap. So what we've been doing is ordering deodorant from a company that produces it in cardboard biodegradable packaging, which is so awesome, and it's cute and small and makes you feel good about the environment, makes you smell good too. I'm still using up the last few tubes of traditional deodorant in plastic containers that I have. However, the next deodorant down the line is in a cardboard tube. Mike has been using his eco-friendly cardboard tube deodorant for months now, and he really likes it. He smells great, and it's better for the environment. So I'm really proud of him that he was able to make that switch, even though the compromise with the toothbrush and toothpaste is what it is. Now let's talk about cotton pads and cotton balls for beauty use or just hygienic use in the bathroom. I have made the switch over to cloth, reusable, washable pads to take my makeup off with, and although they do stain up a little bit, they wash really well in this cute little hemp bag that they come in, so I'm really enjoying those. Q-tips are the next transition that we are making in our home. We have about 50 to 100 Q-tips left from the giant plastic container of Q-tips that we bought literally a year ago, and we're just coming up on the end of those. We have some reusable ones that are made of silicone that I'm excited to try. Mike has tried them. They're washable. After you use them, you just use a little bit of hand soap to rinse your earwax or whatever off of them. I'm a little bit nervous about not having traditional Q-tips in my house because I do use them for other things, such as dipping them in alcohol to remove black marks off of toys, or, you know, Sharpie off of items that we get from the thrift store. There's a wide variety of uses, which I assume I can just start to use maybe some of my toilet paper to dip in alcohol and rub clean things off with. But that's gonna be a bit of a weird transition, which we haven't quite gotten to yet, but we do have the reusable Q-tips, so stay tuned for that, because I just don't know how I'm gonna like that. Oh, a very, very obvious eco-friendly swap is having a reusable water bottle that you take everywhere you go rather than buying plastic water bottles out and about around the world. Now, I do have a plastic reusable water bottle, but that's because I like the clear nature of it. You can see through it if it gets food in it or something. If Ara decides to take a sip and she backwashes, which does happen, totally disgusting, but it does happen. I just really don't like aluminum water bottles. I think that they give the water a weird taste, but that's just my personal preference. It's better to buy one big plastic water bottle that I'm gonna use for years rather than constantly rebuying other single-use plastic bottles. As long as the plastic is BPA free, I think it's a much better choice. If you can go with an aluminum water bottle, or if you like carrying around glass mason jars to drink out of, you do you, boo, but that's totally not my speed. While we're talking about bathroom stuff, let's talk about hand soap. We have quite a collection of bar soap that we have been given by my mom. She just found a collection of it and sort of donated it to us, so that's what we've been using to wash our hands with. We have a nice little tray that it sits on afterwards, and I'm really excited to have these because I think moving forward, ordering more hand soap that is sustainably made, wrapped in paper, not in plastic, that's gonna be a really cool option rather than a gigantic plastic bottle of hand soap, which is kind of what we were doing before. Terrible for the environment. Now, a really controversial but very interesting eco-friendly swap that I recently made is the decision to stop using single-use pads or tampons and panty liners, and instead switching to period panties as well as cloth reusable panty liners. Now, for some women, this is just totally not something that they would ever choose or think about, because rinsing your own blood out of items is a little icky, it's a little time intensive, so I totally understand if this is one of those compromises that you're just not willing to make. For me, I'm really enjoying using these products. I think that they're actually healthier for your, you know, lady bits to use items that are cloth and not necessarily this bleached, processed type of material that they use for pads and tampons. And the good thing is, even though it's a little bit of an upfront cost in terms of how much the period panties are, you don't have to repurchase things month after month, and tampons and pads are damn expensive, especially if you know, are a lady with a little bit of a heavy flow. I'm not into anything that's insertable like a Diva cup. I just don't want to mess with things like that, so that's not for me. However, I do know ladies who really like them and use them in conjunction with the period panties and reusable liners, so it's definitely an option that's out there. So I am loving my reusable period products, and I encourage any ladies out there that are interested to try them. Okay, the final item that we have swapped to, which is eco-friendly, are cloth diapers. I know it seems really, really intimidating for most parents to consider cloth diapering. However, for us, it was well worth the upfront investment of 30 or so cloth diapers. It's super easy, especially for the first like 6 months or so until the baby starts to have poop that is not just breast milk poop anymore, it's more like solids, then you gotta get a rinsing attachment to hook up to your toilet. Really easy to install, and you just spray baby's solid poop into the toilet, flush it away. It's really actually easy. A little bit gross, but anything to do with child rearing is pretty gross in itself. So I'm really happy with cloth diapering. I'd love to make some videos about it in the future. I'm not an expert, but I really encourage any parents out there that want to save a ton of money on single-use diapers to look into cloth diapering, because for me, it was really worth the purchase and worth the few minutes a week that I put into washing them. So that's it. I hope you've been inspired by the eco-friendly swaps that we've made in our household. We are not perfect, we are not minimalist, and we do not have a zero waste lifestyle at all. But in the areas where we can make little changes, I think it makes a big impact on the world. I will see you in the comments section with all of your questions and comments. And I know breakups are never easy. Just do what you can do and leave the rest. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!